What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you as ever for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Before we get going, if you could make sure that you are subscribed to all of my socials, they'll be appearing on the screen as usual. And if we could just make sure that YouTube is in there and you have your notifications turned on just to make sure that you can see all of my videos when they are live. And also, as well, there is Instagram, TikTok. I will be on all of the usual podcast apps as well, so you'll see it on there. So if you don't want to look at this face, which is a face blessed for radio, then you can listen to my dulcet tones over the airwaves at the same time as well. So really quickly as well, thank you so much for the support on the video post Crystal Palace. It was really nice just to try and switch it up a little bit and do something a bit different in terms of this type of video that I'm doing now, just sort of straight off the cuff and immediate emotional response, etc., so on and so forth. It was really well received, and I just seem to have hit the algorithm bang on with that. So thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. With regards to Christmas, there might not be too much from me now leading up to Christmas, so this is kind of like a pre-Christmas video, if you like. I'm going to try and get another one done for hopefully either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then you probably won't hear from me again until kind of pre the Sunderland game. So yeah, this video is just kind of more of a relaxed run through of the Crystal Palace game itself and how it went and how we're all feeling about everything overall. I mean, let's just be absolutely bang on the money. We should be absolutely on cloud nine with that result, and not just the result itself as well, but the performance that we got out of that game was just absolutely brilliant. And I am so happy with how we performed in that game, with how the players performed in that game. Just everything as a whole was just brilliant. I was genuinely concerned for this game, given the fact that in terms of away form, Crystal Palace have the best away form in the league. They were currently sat around 5th before we started playing them, and it was really, really pleasing to see the way that we combated against them, the way that we performed against them, and just how we put together a genuinely good professional Premier League performance. And you know, I said it in the first video, to a man, everybody played their part. Everybody was absolutely brilliant on the night as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just so pleased with that and where we kind of sit now. And I spoke about it when I left the ground. Just everybody was in like a really, really good mood. Everybody was happy. Everybody was just in shock, I think, more than anything, because I don't think we expected that performance, especially when the lineup went out as well. I think that with Brendan Aronson being included in there as well, nobody expected us to play the way that we did. You look at it overall, from a team performance, we rated it 7.03 and Crystal Palace rated it 6.57. So we just, you know, we dominated the game. You look at from the momentum side of stuff, you'll see all of the stats that I've got, they'll all be on the screen. So, you know, if you want to scroll back through the video and look at some bits and pieces, feel free. But just the momentum side of stuff, we pressed them high. We were, in terms of, got to use the word again, in terms of penetration, we were always, in terms of the momentum, the penetration side of things, we were always doing well in their half. We were progressing the ball really, really well. What I would say is that for kind of like the first 20, 25 minutes, we were kind of feeling each other out. And I think as well, I mean, even though like SofaScore in some places have us down as a 3-5-2 in that game, we weren't. Pretty much the system that we played was almost a 3-3. No, hang on, I'm going to say this right. A 3-4-2-1 formation was what we kind of played, which was to kind of combat their midfield a little bit. So when we needed to, we could sink into a 6 in midfield almost. Brendan Aronson was playing pretty much a number 8 role, or more kind of out onto the right-hand side. But again, special mention for Brendy. I felt like overall that was one of the best games that I've seen him play. I thought that his decision making was good. Lovely little flip ball for Stack down the wing right hand side in the first half, where Stack just motored in and then played the ball across. But just overall, it was just a really good game to watch, a really, really good game to see. You've got a lot of the Crystal Palace people going, well, and a lot of the football media world going, well, 48-hour turnaround time, that's not enough time. And whilst that's, I'll give them that, maybe, a little bit. But what I will also say is, well, you asked for the game to be moved. You requested for the game to be moved, so it was moved. And you played pretty much your second string squad for the game as well. So I'm just throwing that out there. Whilst I understand your frustrations, we aren't really that bothered, if I'm honest. So first half-wise, it panned out exactly how I expected it to pan out. We were very, very much cancelling each other out. And then we scored the goal. And then from there, we just we sort of took over from there. There was nothing that we did particularly wrong in the first half either. It was very much a case of we kind of had this, again, another new system, credit to Farker, that we were playing, and it worked to our advantage, but it took them probably 20, 25 minutes just to settle with it. There was a moment where Okafor was screaming for the ball from Perry, for Perry just to throw it out to him because he had space on the wing and he didn't do it, and he literally jumped up and down on the spot and gave Perry an absolute shoe-in for not doing it. And then when it happened again, Perry had the option and he threw it straight to Okafor. Okafor then took it down on his chest, beat his man, and then just sprinted into that. And I think we got a corner out of it as well, which was brilliant because then Okafor turns around and applauds what Perry did. So that you can see that there's options, that there's things going on, that people know what their roles are and know what's supposed to be done throughout the entire game, which is nice to see. And the throw-ins that we do, these long throw-ins, we are now, we're top of the league in terms of set pieces for the league. We've scored from 10 goals from open play, 12 goals from set pieces. We look lethal every time we took a set piece. We, bar a couple of good saves from Henderson, we could have won by a larger margin. It was just that throw-in that Ampadu does. He's got two versions of it now. There's kind of like a looping one that he does, but one where the trajectory is really flat. And what he looks for is just for somebody to run near post or run to the front of the goal to get the flick on, which is what happened for the second goal. But for the first goal, and it did happen for the first goal as well, it was Richards that did it. So Richards knocks it on, and Calvert-Lewin's there to put it away at the second time of asking after a really, really good save from Henderson. And then the second goal, exactly the same again, but from the other side. But Bale gets a really good flick on, and Calvert-Lewin, he's so good at arriving late. So good at arriving late from what I've seen. And when you look at the Opta stats, all of his goals are literally in a straight line from the penalty spot into the 6-yard box. And I remember when he was at Everton that he said that Ancelotti had said to him, you keep in the 6-yard box, we will get the ball to you and you can score. And that's what's happened. He's now on 6 in 5. And it's really nice to see that revival for him. He is, I take him to heart. He's a Yorkshire boy. I'm a Yorkshire boy. And I appreciate what he's doing. He seems to have fitted in really, really well. And I think he likes this role of being a senior player, but also as well kind of being the talisman and focus point for it, which is fantastic to see. And, long may it continue. First half finishes. We're all on cloud nine. We're not sure what's going on. This is great. Not sure why we were so worried. And then half-time comes around, and then I think Jefferson Lerma comes on for Will Hughes, which didn't make any sense because Will Hughes and Adam Wharton, for me, were making good inroads. What they were doing quite well is they were waiting to accept the ball and spin off whilst they were playing the ball. And it worked a couple of times for them, but our kind of defensive line, it was just a little bit too good for it. Now, the second half, as I said, it starts, and we haven't been good at the start of the second half. And a couple of minutes into the second half, they come at us, and you've kind of got to expect it because they're 2-0 down. So you've got to expect them to kind of come out a little bit strong. So what we just needed to do was be concentrating, be on it, and just make sure that we were doing what we needed to do to not survive, but to just pin back the little kind of first 10, 15 minutes of pressure. Not even that, 10 minutes of pressure that was putting in. And then we just took over for the rest of the half. They couldn't really touch us very well. It was, Mateta got absolutely bodied by Biol and wasn't given a free kick for it. And he just kind of, or he just kind of knew that it wasn't going to be his night. And now we have to say, that's 3 informed strikers that Biol has absolutely pocketed over the last 3 games. And Haaland, Brentford striker, can't remember his name, sorry, at this moment in time anyways, the Brentford striker, but then also as well, Mateta, who Biol has absolutely pocketed them. You've got Joe Rodon that was basically playing right wing for the entire map. His heat map after the game is hilarious. Just nuts. But just that second half performance was everything that we wanted. Bogle was good. Aronson was good. The corner from Stack was fantastic. It just literally every time we went forward, not that we looked like scoring, but we panicked them. And when you look at it, when you've got that long throw in as a weapon, and we seemed to be okay with letting the ball go out because we knew that we had an opportunity to play in, basically a throw-in that was as good as a set-piece corner. And the corner comes in, it comes out, it's defended by Lacroix, I think, and then Aronson flicks it in. It then comes to Captain Fantastic Ampadu, who just then he's the quickest to react. It was funny that it went to go check for offside because he wasn't. He was just the quickest to react to the ball, and a deft finish by him as well. Really good finish by him as well. And it's 3-0, and we're all like, this is nuts. What is going on? Because we're seeing a level of performance that we haven't seen yet. And, yes, it's just one game. Yes, I know one swallow doesn't make a summer, etc., so on and so forth. However, what I will say is what we have seen since that second half in Man City is just a steady improvement as it's gone. And, I know Aronson is kind of the villain of the piece in some cases, but when he came on, when he was picked, I was kind of like, oh, that's a brave, bold choice. But it made sense. And he did what was asked of him. He was strong in the tackle in some occasions. He didn't cock up passes, which is what it was really funny because there was a point where we were all going, pass it, Brendy. But he was getting involved in challenges. He was picking the pockets of people, which is exactly what you want to see that number 8 style figure to do. And he has mentioned on a couple of interviews that I think he sees himself as a potential number 8. And he did well. I've got no notes for him. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He ran himself into the ground. The penalty that we end up conceding, that was more down to the fact that Biol was knackered by this point. Was just, they'd got through so much work. And you could see that because obviously, Justin coming on for Bogle. Bogle was out on his feet as well. There was a bit where Bogle went to go and get the ball and then kind of struggled on it a little bit. So it was just waiting for him to come back. And it was, like I say, everybody did what they needed to do. And then that weird moment where Gruev is coming in and we're still kind of attacking all of the, the substitutes that were made. Tanaka came on, Nonto came on, Justin came on, Gruev came on, Pirro came on. What I will say is that we did lose a little bit of control towards the end when Pirro came on because that hold-up play that Calvert-Lewin can give to you is his second to none. And Pirro isn't a hold-up player. That's not his game. He works well off of a striker doing that, not as a single hold-up player. So I kind of feel for Pirro a little bit. They get the goal, but then we just, rather than sitting back and trying to defend it, and they could have scored again, but the penalty was the scorer of the penalty. He missed. He hit the post, and that could have made it very bum-twitching interesting. But we kind of took it to them again, and we go in. It's just a really slow-mo challenge. It's ridden by Gruev and then picked up And it looked like a penalty. It did look like a penalty. But the challenge does happen outside of the box, and the referee explains that. And again, feel sorry for Peru because felt like he was going to score, he was going to get a penalty, and he was going to get his first Premier League goal. But Stack puts it down. And I don't know why, but everybody around me just went, yeah, he's going to score this. He's going to score this. And what you don't see is what he does really, really cleverly is that he gives the keeper the eyes. So he makes Henderson think that he's going to go around the wall and bend it round the wall to his left-hand side. So the wall's kind of covering Henderson's right-hand side, and Henderson moves to the left. And just when the free kick's taken, it's up and over, swerve, dip, and into the goal. And Henderson's got no chance to save it because by the time he realises what's going on, it's already gone in. And it's just 4-1. Everybody relax, chill out. We're sitting 16th in the league. Everything's great. We're 6 points above West Ham now. You can't be anything other than happy with that. It's just really, really pleasing to see what happened in that game and the way that we performed. And the players deserve it. I mean, what a send-off. But also, it was nice to see Farke walking at the end. He lets the players do their thing, but he then goes to the players, goes to the crowd, and the crowd really, really, really gave it to him as well in terms of support, which was really nice to see. I think he has 100% earned that, which is great. And, you know, it's just nice to walk away from Elland Road with a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's just an enjoyable thing. I'm so happy, like I said, and like I've said in a previous video. But this sort of steady improvement that we've been seeing week on week on week with the players, it now has to be maintained, and it now needs to be, you know, continued into the next few games. And just everybody seems to be on song with it. We've got a Calvert-Lewin that is, touch wood, who is performing. He's got, 6 in his last 5 games now, 7 overall for the season. We've got players that know what they're doing and know how to perform and are performing with constantly changing systems. And this is what I really like about us. We are so unpredictable at the moment. Either 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1 or a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3. We seem to be able to mould and move, and we're adaptable throughout the game, and that is what's really pleasing to see, and that's what makes me as happy as what I am currently at this moment in time. So, yeah. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I just wanted to give a more relaxed kind of feel rather than the adrenaline pumping piece that I gave you after the game itself on Saturday. So, yeah, long may it continue. I hope you are doing well. Enjoy your Christmas, all of that kind of good stuff if I don't get a video out before. And, take care of yourself. Take care of each other, most importantly, take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Much love. Cheers.